Is it a good thing for the characters you love to stick around forever? Can even the best written characters of all time outstay their welcome if their franchise stretches beyond the decades mark? A while back, I wrote an essay titled, "Ciri Can't Be the Witcher 4's Protagonist." This video was about how, with the Wild Hunt gone, Ciri has no reason to hide her abilities and would be highly overpowered as a playable character. To my puzzlement, some people in the comments were surprised I was even considering Ciri as the protagonist, because they assumed that Geralt would still be the protagonist of the new Witcher trilogy. This was shocking because I felt that Wild Hunt successfully concluded Geralt of Rivia's tale, no matter which ending was achieved, and bringing him back into the fold would be akin to what happened with Master Chief in Halo 4. Although, to be fair, the games are an unnatural extension of his story from the books, as they provide a much more definitive ending to the Witcher's saga. But I thought I'd question my assumption that Geralt's story is finished, and see if there's truly any tales left to tell with this character, or if it's time for him to hang up the medallion and let a new generation of witches take over. So what's left for Geralt to do? Well, the most mysterious chapter of his life we could join is when he rode with the Wild Hunt. But that doesn't feel like the story for a game. Remember, this isn't just Witcher 4, it's a new Witcher trilogy. I suppose he could have some more conversations that I wish he'd gotten around to having, find some old friends and see what they're up to like Iorveth and Sasaka, and maybe finally confront Triss about taking advantage of him for years. But in terms of goals and quests, it's all been done. His destiny set up in the books has been fulfilled, Ciri is her own woman now, and he has a partner. There's no more established villains and threats to tackle, unless he wants to go after Emir, but that seems highly unlikely. I guess they could always invent a new threat, after all they've got an entire multiverse to choose from, but I think that CD Projekt is smart enough to know that audiences hate the multiverse at this point. I'm really struggling to find any reason for the series to continue with this tale. It's just so perfectly wrapped up. There's a sense of finality no matter what ending you chose in Witcher 3. He's either dead or passed the mantle on to Ciri and retired to the countryside with his beloved. But that's not a bad thing. We shouldn't get overly attached to a character whose time has come, because at least he's got a happy ending. This isn't a tragedy where a beloved character's time was cut short and we feel despair that we'll never see them again. Geralt is a rare case of a perfect conclusion, who achieved nearly everything he set out to do. Sure, he didn't rid the world of monsters, but that's not the Witcher's goal. They aren't that noble. They just kill them for the coin. They don't want to hunt them to extinction. I don't think we can keep mining the books for every little plot detail and location contained within them. Otherwise, the franchise won't grow. We'll just keep going back to the same well and telling the same stories, and then it'll become stale and unoriginal like Star Wars. CD Projekt should avoid Geralt if it needs to in order to keep this new trilogy healthy. That doesn't mean going so far into the future that they get to rewrite the whole continent. Even going back to the origins of the Witcher trade could be exciting. Like all good fantasy book series, The Witcher is steeped in lore that any game could go back to and explore. There are so many massive world events only alluded to in the books and games, and CD Projekt could take their pick of the most exciting setting. Ultimately, it's rather ridiculous to even speculate on whether Geralt will be the lead character, because the teaser, which features the Medallion of a Lynx, has already confirmed that he won't be the protagonist, meaning our hero will be from the school of the cat. I would lose my mind if the protagonist is Gaetan, from the side quest where the cat and the wolf play, because that's honestly one of my favourite side quests of all time. If you haven't played this side quest, be sure to do so, because he's genuinely one of the most compelling cameos I've ever seen. While I feel that the saga of the White Wolf has concluded, I'm by no means an expert on the matter, so I asked someone who very much is. Do you think Geralt's story is over, or do you think there's more story to tell with his character?
In the games?
Yes.
Well, according to CD Projekt, Geralt's story is over. It's finished. But who knows? Who knows? There is a Witcher 4 coming out at some point, a couple years down the line. I don't know any more than you do about what that's going to be and whether or how much Geralt might be involved in it. But clearly the Witcher world continues. And Geralt, depending on how you played the game, of course, Geralt didn't die?
I'll be back in 2 days with another week of the Witcher celebration video featuring a cameo from Doug. In the meantime, here's the aforementioned essay on why Ciri can't be The Witcher 4's protagonist.